So, what do you think when you think of the term religion?
The answer comes with the story. I'm 10 years old and we live in Mahim and it's Eid. बड़ी ईद जो होती है. My father decides to go to the mosque to pray. And he takes his two sons with him. One is Aziz, one is Saeed. Saeed is 10 years old. So Mahim se chalte we go come to this big mosque at Bandra. Used to be there then. Namaz padne. I walk with him. And when we reach the stairs and climb those 3-4 steps before we enter the masjid, I said, Baba, मैं अंदर नहीं आऊँगा. He said, क्यों? I told him I don't think I believe in God. I'm 10 years old. So my father says, looks at me sometimes, all right, sit down over there because there's traffic on the road. Don't move, we'll go inside and pray and then we'll join you afterwards. So I sit outside. They pray, my brother and my father, and he comes out. We start walking home. Then he asked me a question. Why did you say what you said? And my answer was very simple. I said that there is a God. We won't have so much misery that I see around. So therefore I've stopped believing in God. I said, all right, man. I understand that answer, and I don't have an answer to that. But I had a problem with that. I said, but don't tell Amni I didn't come inside the mosque to pray. He says, Kyun? I said that, if she finds out I didn't pray, वो ईद ही नहीं मिलेगी. Which is a rupee or something. हाँ नमाज पढ़ के आ गया देख लो भाई लो वो ईद ही नहीं मिलेगी. I wanted the rupee. It's a strange thing. But I remember that so clearly. What is it that made me say what I said? I think I'm also, over the years I've tried to understand it. Uske baad I've never prayed. I've never prayed. But I have a deep respect for people who pray, genuinely pray. Doesn't matter which religion. Any religion to me doesn't matter. But provided it isn't frivolous. Because when you enter a space and you ask for help, or for whatever reason, you need guidance, you need help of some kind. And if you are genuine about it, I have a respect for that. It doesn't mean that I have to. But I also know I have a problem with organized religion. But if I'm in front of the sea, I realize, or an ocean in front of me, I realize exactly how insignificant I am. And then I have a sense of calm. That I'm little much larger universe, and in that I exist. Or when I'm alone up in the hills and the mountains, you realize that the idea of nature and the idea of being part of, yeah, that's exactly it. This is it. So this is it. To me, in a sense, this is faith.
Yeah, that's what Caspar David Frederick is saying.
This is faith, and that's it. You give it a name. I don't know what name you can give it, but this is faith.
हिंदू नहीं ना मुसलमान क्यों है?
नीला इसलिए कि मुझे पीला अच्छा नहीं लगा, मैंने नीला पेंट कर दिया।
दादाजान, आसमान नीला इसलिए थोड़ा ही होता है।
मगर तुम मुस्कुराई ना। आसमान नीला हो पीला हो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मुस्कुराना बहुत जरूरी है।
All your films speak about diversity, heterogeneity, amidst pluralism, and the need to live together. 1992, a catastrophic year. I don't know if I should use this word, but Naseem, your last attempt at a feature film. After that, you didn't speak through feature films. You have answered these questions many times before, but did you feel disillusioned?
You know, from a person who is not religious, how can the bringing down of a medieval mosque break me? It broke me. It broke me because I said, this is it. This is it. You know, we are sitting here, Omkar, and we're discussing a mosque. Got to go back earlier. We were to discuss a document that was given to the people of India, where we declared what we are to ourselves and to the world. Now, that document is a piece of poetry, actually, using a certain uh, the language, a certain amount of legalese.
Right.
But fundamentally, it's poetry. It is saying all men, women, all genders, all castes, all creeds, all colors, all languages are equal. If that's not poetry, what is? And in that, who are the people that we are telling this to? A caste and community driven people, a nation born out of incredible communal slaughter, patriarchal, feudal, and we're saying this, what we are, want to be.
Yeah.
This is the journey where we've got to go.
Yeah.
That's where we want to go. And if that journey is going to be so bloody difficult. It's caste based, it's linguistic based, it's religion based, it's community based, it's patriarchal, it's feudal, it is. What poetry. And that is a journey, my God, what we want to be.
Yeah. Like a tree.
Now that, onslaught. And you also know that while this document is being formed and shaped, at one end you've got clerics and priests saying, what the hell is happening? What kind of future is this that is being envisaged for people? So one set of clerics says, no, sorry, this is not what we want. We want a Muslim country. Because Hindus and Muslims cannot live together because Saeed Akhtar said so. Don't you remember in 1905? Don't you remember? You don't remember what he said then? No. You want a Pakistan. So you got a Muslim leader. At the other side, you have another set of priests, fundamentalists, as much as posting a document. It's an important piece of work. It's based on a Western liberal idea of what a nation state ought to be, as opposed to a great civilization and its antiquity. We've got to go back, but that is the ultimate source, the fountainhead of all truth and wisdom. You've got these positions being taken. One is achieved, the other being achieved now. So the point is here. The point is here. Where do we want to go? We need to ask ourselves the question. कहाँ जाना चाहते हैं हम लोग? Because is this a kind of nationalism that we want? Is this the kind of patriotism that we want? I'm nothing against patriotism or nationalism. The point is this the kind that we want?
This kind that we want.
And it's highly emotive, and it's almost primordial in its appeal.
Crude.
Strikes a chord. As one of these gentlemen would say, either Mr. Beckett or Mr. Guevara, when in doubt, bring in religion. सीधा bring in religion, यार वो सब solve कर देगा problem. ले आ अंदर. In human discourse, you're not bring in religion, यार to solve the problem. इस्लाम खतरे में है. हाँ, तलवारें निकल जाएंगी. हिंदू धर्म खतरे में है, तौबा. खतरे में है, खतरे में है तो त्रिशूल घुसे हो जाए फिर. अब आ गए. कहाँ है दुश्मन? तो ढूंढते हैं. And the othering of people. You other.
सुन्नी ना नहीं हम शिया, सुन्नी ना नहीं हम शिया, सुलह कुल का मार्ग लिया, सुलह कुल का मार्ग लिया. हिंदू नहीं ना मुसलमान, हिंदू नहीं ना मुसलमान.
क्या सीखा तू गुंडे लोगों से? जानता हूँ.
हाँ अब्बू मियाँ, बहुत सीखा मैं गुंडे लोग से. मैं सीखा जो पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है उसको इस दुनिया में दो चार करने के वास्ते भेजा लगाना पड़ता है. मैं सीखा अपन अरे बोलेगा तो मुसलमान लोग को कोई काम नहीं देता है, कोई भरोसा नहीं करता उन पे. तो जिंदा कैसे रहेगा वो? कैसा कदम कदम पे फाइट करके जिंदा रहने का वो सीखा मैं. बात करते तुम
भाईजान.
Okay, did you in your initial days of filmmaking think that cinema can bring a change? And did that change for you post-Nisi? Or was it, how did you think about cinema and change?
At one moment of time, I did think that cinema could bring in a certain kind of change, but now there's a sense of idealism that we had when we started making films. We started making films because it was a time when the world was in incredible upheaval. Not just India, the world. You have these young people here who are behind the camera, they wouldn't know it. There were liberation movements across Africa and Latin America. The Vietnam War was on. The Russian Revolution occurred. We were trying to find our feet as a nation from 1947 onwards. The Second World War was over. God, things were happening. All of us trying to find this way, and things were happening in terms of cinema. Look at the poetry and literature that emerged at this time.
Yes.
Look at the poetry and literature that emerged in India. Look at the Dalit poetry that suddenly, boom, comes up from the surface, from the gutters of this land and from pain
Yeah.
that its poetry emerges. My God, the power of it. Namdev Lazar,
Yes.
Narayan Surve. These guys are writing stuff.
Which are like the
Dynamite.
words dynamite. It's like powerful.
Absolutely. Not come here, you know.
They
And
can storm
then
you.
for the sophistication of affairs and affairs. Same things are being said.
Same things with just a different language.
But it's far more, the idea is far more sophisticated, but
Yeah.
it's all born out of pain. And Iqbal,
Anecdote.
Sri Sri in Telugu. Now, in that, cinema is emerging. Hour of the Furnaces, Battle of Algiers, the Jackal of Nohal Toro, filmmakers, film on Vietnam, anti-war movements. We are seeing India. Navnirman movement in Gujarat. The Naxalite movement is taking form and shape. 1964 is happening. The the railway strike. There's a strike being built up with the workers' unions. End up in the railway strike, and then finally the emergency. And that way, making your cinemas happy. We thought it'll bring change. But then over time you realize that's what time does with you. It tempers you. It tempers you and you realize you have to be an idealist. Not that you should never be an idealist. All your life try to be an idealist, but also realize time and change have their own rhythm. You might help it along to happen, but don't think it'll happen tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
The next morning we'll have no, it's not going to happen that way. And change comes from people, not through cinema.
But cinema can be a catalyst.
It can be a catalyst, it can help along, but people, when they realize, and ordinary people realize something was fundamentally wrong, then it strikes a chord. We can only talk about things. Because they ask the questions, they'll find the answers.
Yeah.
God knows to ask the questions.
पता नहीं ये हिंदू दुल्हनों के स्टोव ही ज्यादा क्यों फटते हैं?
हमारे लिए बुर्का और तलाक ही काफी हैं जफर साहब.
How important do you think is faith in people's life?
If it gives them sustenance, if it gives them courage, if it gives them means to cope with the hell they're going through, fine. My only objection is when they think this is the only solution to their existence on earth. There's a problem.
Okay. It can be the only means.
Can be one mean, but if you don't, if it puts you into slumber, stop thinking. The point is, man was born to think. Man was born to dissent. Man was born to say, I want to know why.
Question.
I mean, that's crushed. The problem. Mankind, sorry, I will take that back. Mankind, womankind, womankind, lesbian kind, gay kind, trans, whatever, all kinds. To question.
Yeah.
To question.
एक ऐसी दुनिया में रहना जहां मेरे सोचने और करने में बहुत फर्क है. एक ऐसी दुनिया जहां कोई बने बनाए नियम नहीं है. शायद इंसान यही कर सकता है, सही सवाल पूछे.
From the very little I know, I do know that you have a mammoth-like memory from whatever I've seen. You remember things like you remember poets, poems. Is there any poem or nazm that's on your tip of your tongue which you would like to Recite.
I can remember the quote, and it comes from a great man called Karl Marx, which is philosophical. The quote. Mankind only poses questions to itself when the answers exist or are in the process of being formed. That's a very empirical statement, incredibly empirical statement. You could not think of the car if you didn't have a bicycle.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Analogy is here. You had to go from a bullock cart and the wheel to a bicycle and then the car.
Yeah.
And that's a journey of ideas, of things that happen. The tragedy is, if you follow this logic, then there was a man who perhaps had the idea, I've got this little machine which has a little nozzle, etc. And if I put a little pellet into it and I close it up, and then by fire, I can injure an animal or a thing, or maybe for hunting, or a human being. And so the pistol is imagined and then created. And somebody says, why one? Why not six? And why not a machine gun? Finally, why not a bloody bomb? You want to destroy human being, build a bloody bomb. This is the tragedy of lateral thinking. This is the tragedy of thought. Of where we reach, because we asked questions in the past and nobody questioned the question. Why do you want to kill? How do you find time to hate when there's such little time to love?
Life is so short. Where do you have the time to hate?
How do you find time to hate when there's such little time to love? Can you end on this? It's a lovely ending.
Yeah, I think we can end on this. Though I only have one question. What, according to you, can save the world? But maybe this quote.
That's it. This is the quote.
Maybe you can just say it once again. Yeah, I think that's a wonderful quote.
Have you all been following this Bharat Jodo Yatra?
Yes, yes. I saw your pictures.
Yeah.
And many other
He
people.
made a statement, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. It's quite amazing. I'm not making a plug for him, but I'm just saying, नफरत के बाजार में मैं मोहब्बत की दुकान खोल रहा हूँ. Good line.
Yeah.
नफरत के बाजार में मैं मोहब्बत की दुकान खोल रहा हूँ. And to me, that's what it's all about.
That's what matters.